You know, I haven't actually dug very deeply into this particular question about the shape, the morphology, the evolution of the vagina and the clitoris, either in my personal life or intellectually. It is a very interesting question, an important question. The shape of the vagina is a little bit more intuitive, I think, than the sort of peculiar morphology or the appearance of the human penis. But it is interesting in its own right. I mean, the clitoris is the analog to the male penis. I mean, it's basically built from the same neonatal genetic substrate. So the clitoris, in terms of the shape, is basically kind of like a small penis. The vagina is slightly different in terms of its frontal orientation in the human species in particular, rather than the sort of anogenital configuration where the vagina is positioned more to the backside in other primate species. I think is very telling because, I mean, one of the interesting things is that human beings have a lot of face-to-face copulation. We have sex, we look into each other's eyes. And I've always thought, and I think that one of the most important differences between human beings and other species is the fact that we actually can take the perspective of the sexual partner while we're making love to them. We actually can anticipate whether it feels good to them, whether it's painful to them. We want to give them pleasure. And this seems to be something fundamentally different with other species who basically are copulating, they're having sex, which lasts a very short period of time. We are basically intersubjective in our lovemaking. We are taking the perspective of the other individual that we're having sex with. And this is very important in terms of all sorts of things about the uniqueness of human sexuality with other species, including the issue of consent, whether the person really wants to do what he or she is doing with us. So I think the frontal orientation of the vaginal canal is very important in the evolution in terms of the social cognition of our species and having sex and taking the other person's perspective. But it's a very complicated evolutionary story, I believe.